Hello everyone, welcome to another Genshin Impact video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about one of the new features, aka the custom artifact crafting feature thing that was introduced in the new version of Genshin Impact. Now, when I heard this feature was coming in the live stream, I was extremely excited. I was very excited about this system coming to Genshin because goddamn, the artifact grind is hell. I've grinded so many artifacts, I barely have any sets, god forbid any god roll. So when I saw this feature was coming, believe me, I was excited beyond anything. However, as is tradition with Genshin, somehow they managed to screw this up. I really hope they fix this. Otherwise, this is so atrocious, it's beyond belief how they fucked this up this much. Anyways, when Natlan released, this was the first thing I looked into. I got the artifact transmuter, which you get from the, I believe it was, let me see, you get it from like the embattle. You have to get 25 5-star artifacts or something. It was around here, I forget where. I think here. Yeah, this one. It was already complete, so I just got it right off the bat. So I opened it up and I was excited to start crafting, see if I can craft some good ones. So when I opened it up, of course you can't craft right away. You have to craft this sanctifyingelixir, which requires leveled up artifacts. You have to accumulate points here until you get to 100 and you get a sanctifying elixir, which you can use to craft the custom artifacts. Depending on the level of the artifacts, you get different amount of points. Level 4s give you 4 points, level 8s give you 8 points, level 12s give 14 points, level 16s give 22 points, and level 20s give 30 points. So you need 3 level 20s and 1 level 12, something along those lines, to fill this up. So I thought, alright, sure. I guess it would require a bit of cost, but that's fine. It's giving me custom craftable artifacts, so it's reasonable for it to be a little bit expensive. And then I read this. Remaining sanctifier elixir to be produced 1. Time remaining this cycle 40 days. This basically means that you can only craft one of these per patch. Of course, I thought, is that really all? Like, we can only get one per patch, so we can craft one artifact per patch? That's a little okay, but I guess sure, one per patch, fine. And then I saw that, okay, you can get one from the paid battle pass, so it's 2 for people who are buying the battle pass, and maybe we can get some from like probably events or something, maybe 1 per patch or so. I thought, all right, we can craft like maybe 1, maybe 2 or 3 artifacts. Ideally, even if it's just 1, it's still 1 per patch that is customizable, so I thought it was fine. And then when I went here, I saw the costs. Flower and feather costs 1, sands costs 2, so you would need 2 of these to craft the sands. Okay, goblet costs 4 and circlets cost 3. So if we're if we can just craft the 1 per patch, and if we don't get any from events, we can't even craft any of these in a single patch. It'll take 4 patches to save up enough to craft a goblet. That is insane. The fact that we can only craft 1 of these elixirs and it costs 4 to craft a goblet, that means we have to wait 4 patches before we can craft a single goblet. What the hell? If we're farming for 4 patches straight and we still can't get a goblet, we're pretty much screwed anyways, because even after we craft the thing, it's still subject to RNG. We can get the main stat and 2 substats, but the other 2 substats are still random, not to mention all of the rolls. So even if we get crit rate, crit damage, there is a good chance that it won't roll into crit damage or crit rate at all. Even if it does maybe once or twice, it still might not be usable. At this point, my disappointment
is immeasurable.
But that's not even the end. Then I started thinking that, alright, maybe if everything goes well, we save up the sanctifying elixirs, craft one each patch, and maybe we get some events we can save up for a few patches so we can craft an entire set. And then I realized there's another restriction. Each set can be defined one time per cycle. So you cannot save up your sanctifying elixirs. Which I was thinking would be a possibility that you could save up your sanctifying elixirs, and then maybe when a new character comes out or a new artifact set comes out, that would be good. You can just craft the whole set instead of having to farm it for a character. But that's not possible because you can only craft one artifact per set per patch. So when a new artifact set comes out, even if you have like 10 of these saved, which would be enough to craft one of each, you can't. You can only craft one in a patch. It would take you 5 patches. Considering you have all of the sanctifying elixirs saved up, it would still take you 5 patches at least to craft a whole set. And if the 1 is the limit and we don't get any from events or any other way, and if we only can get just the 1 per patch for free to play players who don't buy the battle pass, then it will take 10 patches to craft an entire set. 10 whole patches. That's 70 weeks, over a year. Are they insane? What kind of a dumbass bullshit system is this? This is insanely bad. How they managed to fuck it up this bad is astounding, especially when they have the systems in Honkai Star Rail where you get the craftable resin that you can use to craft a custom main stat of a relic, but you get them fairly easily. You get one from the free battle pass, one from the shop, and sometimes one from events. You get like 2, 3, maybe more per patch. It's pretty good, and there's no limit on what you can craft, so you can save up like 40, 50, whatever. You can craft like all of them into the same set in a single patch rather than having to craft one per patch. That's annoying. Same for Zenless Zone Zero. It also has a much better crafting system as well, much friendlier. It doesn't have any restrictions. The restrictions is what makes the system so bad. Otherwise, the higher costs, yeah, I can understand, even though I would argue that the cost should have been flower feather at 1 and these two at 2, because with the flower and feather the main stat is fixed, so you're not really crafting that, you're just customizing the substats, so that costs 1. By that logic, the substats for the sands goblets and the circlets would cost 1, but the main stat would cost another, so 2 for these and 1 for these would be fine, but they decided to make this 3 and this 4. Sands are technically easier to get, goblets are rarer because not only do you have to get elemental damage, they have to usually be ideally on set, otherwise you'd have to use an offset one, and circlets because those provide just main stat crits. That's why I'm guessing they made the values like this, but they should not be like this. It should not matter what main stats are available. It should only matter that we're crafting 2 minor fixes here, 2 substats, which costs 1. So the main stat should not cost that much more. It should be 2 cost for the sands, goblets, and the circlets. Number 2, why is there a restriction on how many sanctifying elixirs we can craft per patch? And even if there is a restriction, why is it only 1? That is ridiculous. You should at least make this 10, so a person has the choice of trying to craft an entire set per patch. We should at least be able to do that without having to rely on events or battle passes or anything else. This should be 10. Ideally they should not exist, but if there has to be a limit, this should be 10 or whatever the number of elixirs you need to craft a complete set. And number 3 and most important part, why is there even a limit to this? Why can each set only be crafted once per patch? That is ridiculous. Get rid of this limit like completely. There is no minimum where this limit can exist. This limit should not exist at all. If we want to save up our sanctifying elixirs and craft like a bunch of artifacts of one set, we should be able to do that instead of having to craft one per patch, especially since there's still the whole matter of RNG. It's not like we can craft once every 6 weeks and that artifact will be perfect. It's still subject to RNG, and in a lot of cases it'll just roll completely useless. It will happen. So this is insane. This is dumb. Yeah, I had such high hopes for this. I was really hoping that this would be a huge improvement and would be such a good upgrade, but as in the usual Genshin fashion, it still manages to fuck up something like this. Holy shit, how do you fuck this up this badly? Like, there's so many layers. First of all, the costs themselves, they should not be this different. They should be 1 1 and 2 2 2. But after that, this thing being restricted to only one, like the high cost is, I guess it's justifiable, saying it's a rare item so it should cost. That's fine. Having to use leveled up 5-star relics, I'm fine with that. But why is it only limited to one per patch when we need 10 of these to craft an entire set? The set will still be subject to RNG. And then even after that, even if you save up like 10 and want to craft an entire set of the new artifact that might be coming out, you can't, because you're restricted to only being able to craft one of this set per patch. That is I can't tell you how angry this is making me. The more I read into it, the angrier I got. This thing completely took a great system and like destroyed it and made it so bad. It's unbelievable. This is I'm sorry, I've been ranting for a bit. I'm sorry, this just system, the way they fucked this up upset me quite a bit. This system needs to be changed immediately, and I'm fine with the costs. Even if you keep the costs, the differing costs, this costing 3, 4 and 2, and I'm perfectly fine with this costing leveled up 5-star elixirs. That's fine. This is a 5-star artifacts, not elixirs. It's fine because it's a rare item. It has high costs. I'm perfectly fine with that. Remove the limit on this, and especially the limit on this. Remove these 2 limits and this system will be very good. Please change the limits. Remove the restrictions. That's all that is needed to fix this. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this system. Yeah. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. That's pretty much my opinion on this system. So let me know if you agree or disagree, or what your opinion is on this system down in the comments. And if you found this video enjoyable or useful, then please do leave a like. Also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future content. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. See you all in the next one.